In this video, I'm going to talk about the 6 fastest growing suburbs just outside of Seattle, and this list might surprise you. As always, I'm Bryce Greenleaf, local real estate agent here in the greater Seattle area. So many of you have reached out to me here from YouTube over the years, and I love helping you out. For those of you that are watching and you're planning to relocate to the Seattle area, or you already live in the Seattle area and you're looking to purchase a home, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help you with that. But like I said on this video, I'm going to talk specifically about some of the fastest growing suburbs in the Seattle area. And this is not just my opinion of which ones are growing the fastest. This is data directly from the Washington Financial Office of Management. So we have some good raw data here to actually show us which cities, which suburbs have had the largest growth in population over the last year from 2022 to 2023. All right, so I've got 6 cities. Like I said, some of these may surprise you. They're not the most well-known suburbs, so possibly some other considerations for you if you're thinking about relocating here over to the area. So number 1 on this list is Black Diamond. Now, Black Diamond is about 30 miles southeast of Seattle, and the median home price is about $845,000. Now, from the data here, we can see a nearly 12% growth in population here in Black Diamond, with an increase of about 735 people over the last year. Current population is just under 6,900. So Black Diamond is a smaller area, a far less known area. When I was growing up in the Seattle metropolitan area, I don't even think I heard of Black Diamond until I was well into my teenage years. It was just not a well-known area, but there are a few reasons why it has really started to grow at quite a rapid pace. Let's jump into the map here, and I'm going to show you around Black Diamond a little bit. All right, so you can see we've got Seattle right up here. That's not what I wanted. Here we go. Seattle right up here. We've got Black Diamond right down here. So let's zoom in a little bit. So here we have Black Diamond. Now, you may have heard of Maple Valley before, which is becoming a very popular suburb as well that a lot of people are moving to. But a big reason why Black Diamond has grown so much is because of all the new construction homes that are in the Black Diamond area. Now, the Seattle metropolitan area as a whole really suffers from not having a true master plan communities in and around this area. If you go to a lot of the other states, like to the south, like Texas has an insane amount of master plan communities, new build homes, massive communities with all these amenities and whatnot. Seattle area has a lot of new construction, but a lot of it is smaller communities on average and not a true master plan communities with a lot of amenities. Black Diamond may have the largest master plan community in the Seattle metropolitan area. Now, that is called 10 Trails. I'm going to zoom in here. Now, 10 Trails is just over here. You can see right here, this is kind of the 10 Trails community. Now, I've done a video covering 10 Trails briefly and some of their offerings over there. I'll link that here above. You can check out if that's of interest. But this is a huge reason why Black Diamond has really blown up in the recent years, is because of all the new homes. They have thousands and thousands of new homes down in 10 Trails. They have nearly 8 or 10 different builders down here that have been building homes. So there's a lot of different options and variety at different price points. They have entry-level price points closer to $500 to $600. They have some more luxury homes well over $1 million, 1.3, 1.5. So there are a lot of options through there, and that's a big reason why Black Diamond has really started to blow up. The town of Black Diamond is a little bit smaller. It's a little bit quieter. So there's a lot of families in these areas because of those new construction homes in that community and what that 10 Trails offers with all of the trails and parks and pickleball courts and everything there in the community. And like I said, outside of the community, it is a little bit quieter and sleepier of an area. You do have some of your conveniences, restaurants, and shopping here right in town in Black Diamond. For a lot of the stuff, you may find yourself going up to Maple Valley here, like I mentioned, which is a little bit larger, has more restaurants, has more to do, has more your shopping, your grocery stores, your Costco's, things like that are more for on that north side, just north of Black Diamond. Now, the great thing about being in Black Diamond, I'm going to zoom out here, is you are so close to nature. You're so close to trails and mountain biking opportunities. You can get over to the pass pretty easily. You can see Snoqualmie Pass right over here with Black Diamond here. So when you're set further on this east side, you can see how green it is around here. This is a super green area. Black Diamond is. You're surrounded by tall, huge evergreen trees, just very, very beautiful. You're really in nature. And so when it comes to outdoor activities, that's really the primary source of things that you're going to have to do around here, recreational opportunities. All right, city number 2 is Gig Harbor. This is about 45 miles southwest of Seattle, and the median home price here in Gig Harbor is $890,000 currently. Population growth has been just over 4% in the last year. This is about an increase of about 520 people, and the current population is just over 13,000. Let's jump into the map. Let's take a look at Gig Harbor. All right, so you can see down here, we've got Gig Harbor right here. You can see Seattle was at the very tippy top there. We've got Gig Harbor here on the west side. As you're starting to get onto the peninsula is where Gig Harbor is. Now, Gig Harbor is absolutely beautiful because you are right on the water. Beautiful views all over the place, whether you've got the inlet on the western side or you've actually got the sound on the eastern side. There's a lot to offer when it comes to beautiful, really view properties in the Gig Harbor area. Gig Harbor is located right next to Tacoma. You may have heard of Tacoma before previously. If you've done your research, Tacoma is a very busy, larger downtown area. There's a lot going on in Tacoma. Now, Tacoma and Gig Harbor can actually feel very different. Gig Harbor can feel a lot slower paced, a lot quieter. Whereas Tacoma feels a lot busier, a lot more going on. Now that is the convenience factor is going to Gig Harbor to Tacoma is you have a lot of shopping down there. So you have the Tacoma Mall, which is huge, all the restaurants and stuff around there. So there is a lot of conveniences nearby. But a big reason why people like taking advantage of being Gig Harbor, like I mentioned, is one, great views for a lot of homes, two, a quieter area, a very family-friendly area. There's a lot of people that have retired and gone over to the peninsula, and Gig Harbor being one of those locations. You can have a very rural property. You can go out to some of the outskirts of Gig Harbor. You can go out over here. You can go out over here. Even closer to Rosedale over here. There's a lot of areas where you can find acreage. So if you want to be close to a city that offers a lot of amenities, but you don't want to be terribly far out and you still want some acreage, there's a lot of beautiful acreage properties in the Gig Harbor area. There's gated communities. There's more kind of free-flowing communities all over the place. There's the downtown Gig Harbor area where you're going to have your restaurants and whatnot through here. So you've got Anthony's, which is a popular seafood restaurant around here. So there's a lot of great spots where you can take in a bite to eat, again, with some great views there in the Gig Harbor area. And it's just overall, it's a really beautiful place to be. All right, city number 3 here is Kirkland. This is about 12 miles northeast of Seattle. Now, Kirkland is the most expensive city on this list. Median home price is $1.4 million. Now, if you've done your research before, you've thought about moving over here and looked into some things, Kirkland has probably popped up because it is such a popular suburb. Now, it's no surprise that it's on this list versus some of these other ones are kind of smaller spots. Kirkland is a very well-known, very large area with a lot to offer. Now, it's grown just over 3.5%. This is an increase of just over 3,300 people, and the population as a whole in Kirkland is just over 96,000 people. So like I said, a large area with a lot to offer. Let's jump into the map real quick. Let's take a look at it. So we've got Kirkland right up here. You can see how close it is to Seattle. Kirkland right here. So a lot of people live in Kirkland and they work in Kirkland, or they work in Bellevue or Seattle. So that commute into Bellevue or Seattle is relatively easy. It's not that bad. Kirkland to Bellevue is a straight shot. You just go straight down 405 here, easy peasy. To get down into Seattle, if you need to, you go down 405 and you can jump on the 520 toll bridge, or you can go all the way down past Bellevue and jump on the I-90 bridge. Two options to get over there. Now, with Kirkland, there's a lot of luxury homes. There's a lot of money in this area. You have Google offices here. It is really close to Bellevue and Redmond, like I mentioned, which is where Microsoft headquarters are. And there's Facebook offices. There's Amazon offices. There's a lot of financial jobs over here. So one of the wealthier areas in the Washington state area is Kirkland, and there is a lot to offer. I've done a tour of Kirkland where I've gone around and shown you all around Kirkland. There's multiple different great shopping centers, from high-end shops to your typical day-to-day, Ross and Gap and all that kind of stuff, all your typical stuff. You're right on Lake Washington here. So here in downtown Kirkland, you've got, this is one of my favorite places to go if you're just kind of going on a nice summer day. You want to walk around, kind of spend half a day down there, maybe go to a restaurant, check out the park downtown. So you've got a ton of restaurants here. You've got Lake Street right there as well. You've got Kirkland Urban, which is a newer complex that's just been built up in the last few years with there's Google offices, there's other offices there, there's some restaurants, there's grocery stores, there's a lot there. And then you can walk from Kirkland Urban to downtown right here. You've got the Waterfront Park, you've got Heritage Park, this is Waterfront Park right here. So there's a lot down here that's offered in Kirkland, and it's one of the most beautiful spots really in the Seattle metropolitan area, and there's a good reason why it's so expensive. Through here, you've got Norkirk, you've got West of Market, which have some beautiful homes. Again, some of these will have views, plenty of them don't, but beautiful homes all through here. A lot of character. There's a lot of different architecture styles. These aren't new builds, these are older homes, so a lot of different styles through here, and gives it a lot of character, and is a really, really pleasant place. On the south side of Kirkland, as you get into Bellevue, you have Bridle Trails area, so there's a lot of equestrian properties through here. So you have the ability to have an equestrian property and still be right in the middle of everything, right close to town, without having to live in a rural location. Of course, it's a lot more expensive, but you're paying for a reason to be there. So Kirkland, super, super nice area. All right, city number 4 on the list here is Lynwood. Now, Lynwood's about 17 miles north of Seattle. The median home price currently is $810,000. Growth in population over the last year, 5.29%. This is just over 2,000 additional people that have moved into the Lynwood area. Currently, the population in Lynwood is just over 40,700 people. Now, Lynwood is a very busy area. It's very pocketed. Depending where you are in Lynwood, it's going to feel a little bit like a different area. And there's a lot to offer around here, and it's gotten more and more busy as the years have gone on. Let's jump into the map. Let's take a quick look. All right, zooming out here. So you can see Lynwood right here. Oops, right there. Seattle right here. So it's a straight shot. So in terms of commuting, there is a ton of people that live in Lynwood, work in Seattle, or work in Bellevue. Just straight shot I-5 there. Or if you work in Bellevue, go on 405 down there to Bellevue. So pretty easy to get to and from. Not that there's not traffic. Of course there is. That is one of the busier routes right on I-5 going in and out of Seattle and Bellevue. But there's a ton of people that commute's not terrible, and there's a lot of people that are making that drive. So I mentioned Lynwood here. This is Highway 99 that runs right through the middle of it. So a lot of residential homes, a lot of condos, a lot of townhomes. When it comes to like new construction, there is some smaller new build neighborhoods when it comes to detached single family homes. There's also been a lot of new townhomes that have been built over the recent years. One of the reasons Lynwood just keeps growing and growing is because of all that's really centered in Lynwood, everything around there. So you have the Alderwood Mall right up here. So the Alderwood Mall is one of the largest malls here in the area. This is where I grew up going as a kid, going back to school shopping and all that stuff. My wife still drags me in there sometimes these days. You've got the movie theater down there. You've got other shopping centers really close by, like your Whole Foods, Nordstrom, Best Buy, all that's over there. So this Alderwood area is very busy. There's a lot of apartments that have gone up recently. You've got your Targets, your Costco's. Alderwood has really, really blown up, and it's a great place to be for convenience. Lynwood the city as a whole is a great place to be for convenience. So this east side of Lynwood is going to be a little bit busier just because of everything that's going on around here. When you get to the west side of Lynwood, as it merges into Edmonds, it can get a little bit quieter. Now here on Highway 99 is very busy. That's a little bit more of where some of the riffraff is going to be centered around, as any major thoroughfare, any major highway is. And then you have a lot of, like I said, neighborhoods through here on the west side as you get closer to the water before it merges into Edmonds. Now, one thing about Lynwood that's drawing people in, is going to draw more and more people in, is there is a light rail station going in here. Now, the light rail is our train system here in the Seattle area, and currently it runs as far north as Northgate, and it's going down to the airport and further from there. Now, can be great convenience for those that are commuting into Seattle. There is a stop coming to Lynwood, which is going to be great for some people to take advantage of. It's coming right in here. Get the pen out here. It's going to be coming right about here in the Lynwood area. So it's going to make Lynwood even more convenient. It's going to raise those home prices even further as that becomes an option here in the coming years. All right, city number 5 here is Monroe. Now, Monroe is located about 32 miles northeast of Seattle with a median home price of $791,000. Now, population has grown about 4.5%. This is an additional 890 people. And Monroe has a current population 20,500 or so. Now, Monroe is a little bit different. It's a lot different than Lynwood that I just went over, where Lynwood is very hustle and bustle. It's close to Seattle. Monroe has some other offerings if you're looking for a quieter lifestyle. Let's jump into the map. Let's take a look real quick. Monroe is up here. Like you see Seattle down there. So Monroe to Seattle commute times, or Bellevue, there is certainly people that make that drive, make that commute. Plenty of people. This Highway 522, which is going to take you in and out of Monroe, can get pretty backed up in those rush hour times. But again, a lot of people have gone out to Monroe for more favorable home prices. So just keep in mind, you can look at specific commute times if you're thinking about moving out there and you do have to work in Seattle or Bellevue. But there's a couple other options. You can go down the 203 here if you're going into Redmond or Bellevue. Sometimes that's a little bit easier. Let's zoom into Monroe here. So Monroe, now very self-sufficient. When I compared it to Lynwood, I didn't mean there's nothing in Monroe. It's totally quiet, small town. It's not really small town anymore. There's a lot of shopping here in the downtown area. There's a lot of stuff right on this main street, this main drag. You've got the Evergreen Speedway, Monroe Fairgrounds. So there's a lot of events here, state fairs. I've been here countless times through my life for all sorts of different events and whatnot. So you can see your Walmarts, your Fred Meyers, your Lowe's, all of your shopping and stuff, doctor's offices, restaurants. Very self-sufficient here in Monroe. And so they have town, if you want to live in town with like an older craftsman style home, they certainly have a lot of those through there. What Monroe does offer, though, that some of these other cities don't offer, is truer rural living. Now, you can be rural and you can have 10 acres and not be terribly far out from the city, from the Monroe town area. You can be 10 to 15 minutes from town and you can get 10 acres, right? So through here, Roosevelt, some of these are Snohomish addresses as well, but all through here, Roosevelt, Woods Creek, and then all the way up, you have a lot of property that it's going to give you more space. It's going to make you feel like you're living a little bit more rural of a location. Whether that's a more flat lot, kind of like farmland, there's some of those. There's also mostly very wooded, very treed lots here in Monroe. Very beautiful area. As you zoom out, you're right along Highway 2. So Highway 2 right here. This takes you out to the pass. So if you want to go skiing and snowboarding and all that kind of stuff, Monroe, very convenient location to take advantage of that. So a lot of nature out here. If you like trails and mountain biking, hiking, all that kind of stuff, Monroe has really quick and easy access to all of that. All right, last one on the list here is Mountlake Terrace. Now, Mountlake Terrace is about 14 miles north of Seattle, and the median home price is about $712,000. So this is actually the cheapest one on this list, and it's actually the closest to Seattle. It has grown at nearly 8% over the last year. This is about 1,700 new people with a current population just under 24,000. Now, Mountlake Terrace is the area that I grew up in. Know it very well, and there are a couple reasons why it is expanding at the rate it is. Let's jump into the map. Let's take a look here at the last city. So it's right next to Lynwood. We talked about Lynwood. Lynwood was right there. Here is Mountlake Terrace. So there's a couple reasons why Mountlake Terrace is growing the way that it is. One of it has to do with proximity to Lynwood, so it's still super convenient to everything in Lynwood. I mentioned the Alderwood Mall right up here, all of your shopping all around there. In Mountlake Terrace, it's extremely easy to get over there. That's where you're going to do most of your shopping and whatnot if you do live in Mountlake Terrace. There are some stores in Mountlake Terrace as well, of course, but it is convenient to get right up there to get to everything. Now, Mountlake Terrace is also a convenient location for those working in Seattle. It's even closer to Lynwood. It's even closer to Seattle than Lynwood is, just by a little bit, but it is. You can see straight shot down I-5 here. Now, I talked about that light rail system. There is a light rail station going into Mountlake Terrace as well. The next one's scheduled to be completed here right in Mountlake Terrace. So if you want to rely on public transportation to get to and from Seattle, if you're going to be working down there or going down there often, that is something that is going to help raise home prices there as well. Now, Mountlake Terrace does not have a lot of new construction. Compared to some of the other cities, there's some spots here and there, little things here and there. There's not a lot of new construction. There's a lot of older homes. I told you the median home price was $712,000, which is almost $100,000 less than Lynwood. A big reason for that is older age of homes on average. While Lynwood has a lot more newer construction options, Mountlake Terrace not so much. Mountlake Terrace also has a lot of older block homes, right? Little starter homes, 800, 900 square feet. Close to the freeway here, close to where that light rail station is going to be. There are a lot of smaller, really true starter homes in the Mountlake Terrace area that some of the other cities don't offer quite as much as. So that brings that median home price down. But if you're comparing a comparable home, Mountlake Terrace and Lynwood, home price is going to be pretty much the same, right? If you have two homes both built in the year 2005 and pretty similar all the way around, they're going to be about the same price in both cities. That average is just taken down, or that median price is taken down because of all the other stuff. Lynwood offering new construction, Mountlake Terrace having older average homes for the most part. Now, like I mentioned, with Mountlake Terrace, you're going to go to Lynwood for a lot of your shopping and whatnot. You can go down, you're close to Lake Washington here, so taking advantage of lake activities. When I was growing up here, we went to Lake Forest Park and got on the lake here really easily, and so that's nice and close by. And like I said, all sorts of residential neighborhoods all throughout here and on the west side as well, as you get closer to Highway 9 through there, and then it goes into Edmonds from there. All right, well, that wraps up my video here of the 6 fastest growing suburbs of Seattle. Again, this data was provided by the Washington State Office of Financial Management, so really good raw data for us to look at and get an idea of why these suburbs are growing. Hopefully that information was helpful for you. Like I said, if you're relocating here to the Seattle area and you need help with that relocation process and you're looking to buy a home, feel free to reach out to me. And of course, if you already live here and you're looking to buy or sell a home, I would be more than happy to help. Thanks for watching this one.